Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is gold and the dollar devaluation. As you recall, back in 2020, Coverstone had this dream, but this was the dream. Now, I'll tell you right now, what the dream says is that the coins and the paper currency are going away, but the thing that starts it is when pennies start going away. Now, I could have dug up the article, but as you all know, that President Trump did away with pennies, 2 weeks ago? So this prophecy is now in progress of rolling. Okay, so here it is. I dreamed we're having a yard sale to fund the missions team. I went to the bank to get some change for the yard sale. On the door, it said, no change available. I said, I need $10 in quarters for a yard sale to the teller, and she said, I'm sorry, but the U.S. Mint is no longer making currency or making change. I asked, what do you mean? She said, well, they stopped minting them. So the pennies have already stopped. I said, well, how am I going to change to $1.50 for anything? She answered, just prepare for hyperinflation. Let me read that again. Prepare for hyperinflation. I'll read it again. Please get this. What's hyperinflation? It means things get really expensive. And I don't know, we probably got 10 or 12 prophecies saying the same thing. Prepare for hyperinflation and just charge $2. Then she said to me in the dream, oh, by the way, $1 bills and $5 bills will soon follow that. Now, what's that saying? It's saying that the coins and our paper currency is going away, which is why I'd recommend you call 800-200 gold, 800-200 gold, especially if you have money in the bank or if you have an IRA or 401k. If you have your money in paper, it's about to, as Lindsey Williams said, be worth the paper it's written on. These guys can give you some suggestion. Don't lose your life savings. Don't do it. Don't take a chance. Don't lose your life savings. 800-200 gold or the other numbers and the website there if you have crypto. Okay, let's keep going. Now, I covered this last week, but it's an important point. So this past Friday, by the way, I'm wearing green today. It's St. Patrick's Day. But this was from Friday. Friday, the value of gold hit $3,000 an ounce for the first time ever. Hang on, because that ties together. Gold does not go up and down. It's the dollar, the value of the dollar, that is going down. That's what that means. Let me move on. All right. Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is hot. This is brand new today. Delists London gold. Now, I'd like to be able to tell you I'm an expert in gold. I'm expert in finances, but I'm not. Okay, so I sort of am only going to have to be able to read what others say, but then I'm going to bring into the whole thing what the prophecies say. And that's the real reason you listen to Prophecy Club, not to just get news, but to get news in light of Bible prophecy. In the opinion of many of the gold markets, this is the equivalent of a magnitude 9.6 earthquake. In other words, this is big. So we got two things. We got coins going away, pennies going away. Now we've got delisting of the London gold market. There is very much speculation taking place that the reason the CME group has done this is allegedly because London no longer has the metals to cover their contracts. Now, you remember Trump is now saying he's going to go into Fort Knox and make sure the gold is there. My guess is that there's a lot of gold that is not where it's supposed to be. Now, what does that do? I'm just guessing. Again, I'm not an expert, and I'm certainly not giving financial advice. To me, it says that if something goes wrong with the substance that's backing our dollar, and there's really nothing backing it, but the public thinks gold is backing it somehow. I don't know how. But if it is discovered that the gold or the whatever they thought was backing it is now not there, can you see that the value of the dollar would drop? The prophecies say it goes down 30%, a third, And then a couple of months later, a third. A couple of months later, zero. Worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. That could be happening this year. Let's go on. One reader of this website told me, gold paper written on the London Exchange has just become very iffy. Biggest news? Note that paper gold from London can no longer be used as collateral for CME trading. Now, again, I'd like to tell you exactly what that means, but since the prophecies say that the value of the dollar is going to be devalued, I have to think that this is associated with the devaluation of the dollar. Let's go on. London gold was selling for several dollars less than what gold was selling for in the U.S. So there was hedging being done, meaning buy London, sell U.S. to try to capture the difference via the futures market. Will this cause firms to now try to take more physical delivery in London? Okay. In other words, maybe some people are going to start demanding to physically hold the gold, and maybe that physical gold is not there. Maybe that's the reason Trump is saying he wants to go to Fort Knox and look at the gold and move that gold to the U.S. to capture that pricing difference. Now, wait. What if the gold that is supposed to be in Fort Knox and the other 4 locations is not all there, or is not all gold? For some reason, it's not good. And maybe Trump shows up, and maybe there's something wrong. We've talked about this whole program back, so I don't need to go into it again. But the point is, if it's not right, that could cause the dollar to start crashing. Let's go on. Will that drain the physical stocks of gold in London as is physically sent to the U.S.? Could it be that they're bringing in gold from London because they're afraid that Donald Trump is about to go to Fort Knox and the other 4 locations where gold is supposed to be stored, and they're trying to put it back before the light is switched on to discover it's been moved? I don't trade gold, but this is a very big deal for the gold market, particularly for paper gold. What's paper gold? It's gold where they have a piece of paper that says they own the gold. Now, again, Lindsey Williams said that if your money is in paper, your gold, your silver, whatever, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on, meaning ideally you want to physically hold the gold. In the case of 800, 200 gold, in that case, they put the gold, you can't actually store it. If you wanted an IRA or a 401k, you can't actually hold it. But they can put it close to you, hopefully within a driving distance, so in an emergency, you can still lay your hands on it. Let's go on. Now, here are some rumors. There is a rumor that the income tax, the IRS, is going away. Perhaps you've heard that Donald Trump is saying no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. And do you remember the article? I started to pull that up too. I can't remember to put all of them in here. But, okay, so they laid off 80,000 IRS agents, but there was another article. I don't know if they did this, but they said that there was planning on another 30,000 IRS agents in the next week. I think it was last week. Also supposed to be laid off. Now, I've never heard if they were actually laid off or not. But the point is all of this saying that the IRS is going away? And of course, the applause would start there. Now, there's more. Now, the Federal Reserve. Is the Federal Reserve going away? You remember, this is a private bank that was started in 1913. And it was started by a shenanigan, which I don't have time to go into right here. But this executive order makes me think it may be going away. There's 2 of them. First of all, the establishment of a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States digital asset stockpile. Trump is saying that he wants America to be the cryptocurrency of the world. Second executive order. Now, here's the big one. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. This is big. Look what it says. So on January 23rd, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order titled strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. Now let's get to the point. Let's go down to the pink there. Prohibition of CBDCs. What's a CBDC? It's a central bank digital currency. This is the currency that the Federal Reserve was planning on coming out with. So now, Donald, if you want to know whether he is controlled by the Moloch ball worshippers, the deep state, the Khazarian Mafia, whatever you want to call them, look at this, because he would have never done this if he was controlled by them. These are the 12 banking families, the Illuminati, the people that have controlled the world, truth be known, probably since the days of the pyramid. Okay? So he has passed this executive order that says, no CBDCs. In other words, the Federal Reserve cannot come out with a digital currency. Now, why is that good? Because they're the bad guys, in my opinion. They're the bad guys. They're the black hats. But then there's another group of people, the white hats, and I've talked about them in the past, so I won't go into it again. They're trying to come out with also a digital currency, but theirs will be asset-backed according to finalwakeupcall.info. Okay, now let's go on. Now, I read this recently, but it's so important. I think I have to read it again. This is by Brandon of the Last Days. Okay, this is the guy that saw Trump shot in the right ear, very specific, 3 months before it happened. And his 50,000 subscriber list has now jumped over 500,000. So a lot of people listening to him. So he said, the Lord showed me an American flag. The flag transformed into a $100 bill waving in the wind. Suddenly, it transformed into a digital code, almost like a crypto code. What's he saying? He's saying that our dollar, just like Coverstone said, the coins and the paper currency, the dollars, going away. I mean, we've heard this from many different people, okay? Not just one. I mean, 10 or 12. How many times do we have to hear it before you start saying, you know what? I think God is trying to warn us. It was moving like it was alive. It was like an internet math code. It kept moving and moving, and I said, Lord, what is this? And the Lord said, the dollar is about to turn into a digital dollar. He said it will be worth half what it's worth right now. Now, again, I can't give financial advice. But if you have your money in the wrong place, I think you'll agree with this, you could lose it, or you could lose the lion's share of it. Don't lose your life savings, 800, 200 gold. Get these guys' opinion. Maybe you don't like what they say. Don't do it then. Maybe you do like what they say. Okay, let's go on. So a $100 bill will be worth $50. Then he showed me the banks went all bankrupt. Remember the kid, 11-year-old kid I read a couple of days ago? He said he saw that all of the banks confiscated all of the money in their account, and they called it a bank jubilee. Then he showed me the banks all went bankrupt. All the money that was in the banks, whether you were rich or poor, the banks seized it all. All the money in the banks was seized. It was now the property of the bank. I don't know how, but somehow they seized all the money in the banks. People lost it all. That's another reason why you want to have, I don't have money. I don't have to worry about it. But there may be somebody watching that has a nice pile of money. Don't lose it. Loans that you have on your house, your cars, everything. I saw that they took all of it. They called it the debt jubilee because they couldn't foreclose and take everybody's houses and everybody's cars because the dollar crashed. They just wiped it all out and created a whole new digital platform. That's what we've heard from several of them. They created a new digital dollar. Then the Lord showed me lines of people standing at Target stores trying to get food. They weren't dressed like they were in poverty-looking clothes. They still had nice clothes on. But it was like the money had simply suddenly left. It was just like it happened overnight. That's what David Phillips, that's what Shane Warren saw. People were in lines at Target and Walmart, lines like a mile long. Remember the lady said she saw there was no more food at Walmart? There was no products and there was no food there. There was hardly anything left in these stores. People were waiting just to get whatever they could. I could see them all in a single file line that stretched out forever. He showed me certain cryptocurrencies that would go up in value. What does it take for us to start believing? He showed me certain things that would happen with gold and silver. Now, remember, Shane Warren was told that silver will skyrocket far more than gold. Well, gold is already starting to skyrocket. It just touched $3,000 an ounce. What do you suppose is coming right behind it? He showed me the euro. The euro would be in trouble because of what was going on in Europe and this Ukraine war. It was all going to happen like dominoes, falling one after another. Now, next article. DOGE uncovers 4 million government credit cards responsible for 90 million transactions. And DOGE will announce changes to the credit card system within a week. Now, this is February 19th. However, what we are hearing from multiple sources is that the system needs to collapse. I better read that again. This system needs to collapse before it can be replaced. So the first half of 2025 could be chaotic like the Russian professor predicts. Trump is doing his part to speed up the process. See, the Federal Reserve, the bad guys, and Trump, the good guys, both the bad guys and the good guys want to bankrupt our current dollar system. They want it to die. Why? So they can bring in a new system. The white hats want to bring in the good guys system, digital, and the Federal Reserve, or the bad guys, want to bring in the CBDC or the bad guy, digital, but they're both digital. They want digital. Why? Because for you, no way to buy or sell globally would mean that they would have to get in between the buyer and the seller. The only way you can do that, my understanding, would be digital. You have to have a digital system so that even if you want to buy your next door neighbor's used lawnmower, you got to be able to get between that trade so that no one can buy or sell, save he had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. Trump is doing his part to speed up the process. In a massive blow to the deep state, Trump signed an executive order bringing independent agencies under presidential oversight, including the Federal Election Commission, the FCC, or Federal Communications Commission, the Security and Exchange Commission, the Federal Trade Commission. The order requires all these agencies to submit the regulations to Trump's chief, Rush Vought. This is a good sign. Trump is ultimately going to target their current overseer, the Federal Reserve Board, meaning it's another sign the Federal Reserve Board, the coins, the paper, going away. Central bank bailout coming. The European Central Bank may be preparing for a bailout of France. It's not just happening in America. This is a global thing. And I passed over so many articles all saying the same thing. Around the globe, this is what's happening. Everything is going digital. It appears France is broke. From all its Ukraine spending, the plan is being kept secret so as not to incense German voters. Were such a bailout to have happened before the German elections, support for the AfD would have soared. This is how devious and sinister the European government and bankers actually are. They hid the financial bailout of a large European country so that the voters in another European country wouldn't vote for conservative, right-wing parties. This is clear-cut election interference in Germany by the European Central Bank, and I might add the guy that just came on in Germany. It said he is conservative, but a lot of people saying no, he's not really. It was literally an actual conspiracy to deceive by concealment voters in Germany and elsewhere in Europe. On to the next one. Why banks are flying gold bars on commercial flights from London to New York. My guess is because there's not really as much gold in Fort Knox as is supposed to be there. That's just my guess. I want to find out. Trump says he's going to go personally inspect the gold at Fort Knox. Okay, so he goes there. Everything's fine, no problem. He goes there and everything's not fine, and all of a sudden our dollar, that quick, can drop by 1/3, just like the prophecies. Well, when's he going to go to Fort Knox? I don't know. But if I were you and I had a big pile of money someplace, I'd be scrambling to do something with it so I won't lose it, okay? 800-200 gold. Get their advice. Doesn't hurt anything, doesn't cost anything. Call them and say, hey, here's my situation. What do you think? If they can't convince you that they got a better solution, leave it there or call someone else. Musk signals DOGE could look into gold at Fort Knox. So it's more than just going in and physically searching. DOGE wants to go into the computers. Now, if the gold that's supposed to be there is not there, or it's not owned by the right people, being the United States of people, all of a sudden DOGE, with their algorithms, goes into the computers and said, we know who has it. We know where it is. See what I'm saying? Korean banks halt sales of gold and silver bars. Why would they do that? Maybe it's because they don't have what they're supposed to have. And maybe there's a bunch of stockpiles of gold and silver around the globe that don't have what they're supposed to have. The article goes on to say Trump's tariff threats is changing everything. They halted the supply of gold bars to banks on Wednesday last week. I read this. This is like a week old. However, the silver prices also start soaring. Remember what Shane Warren said, silver's going to skyrocket far more than gold. Investors turned to silver bars as an alternative, leading to a surge in demand for silver bars. Silver bars by depleting their existing inventory. So don't be surprised to see silver start skyrocketing, just like Shane Warren was told. Here's more. You can pause and read it if you want to. Okay, let me get to this one. Now, this is way back in 2020, and this is only part of the dream that Coverstone had. But it's important. He says, I saw a $100 bill the size of a flag hanging on a flagpole, burning on one corner. Doesn't that say there's a devaluation of our dollar? When I was a kid, throughout elementary, junior high, and high school, every day my mom gave me 2 quarters. That bought me a hamburger, french fries, and a Coke. Today I just checked it out. I bought the same hamburger, french fries, and Coke at the same place. Now it's $14. Now, did the price of the hamburger, french fries, and Coke go up? No. The value of the dollar has gone down by that much. Who stole it? That's right, the Federal Reserve and the guys behind them. I saw a $100 bill the size of a flag hanging on a flagpole, burning on one corner. It was being lowered like a flag is lowered at the end of the day. People had their hands over their hearts and were crying because their god of money was being lowered. The dollar had lost its value, devaluation, and it burned until only about a third was left. To the protesters, the death of the dollar was a celebration. In other words, the communists that wanted to see our nation destroyed. But many people were celebrating while others were devastated and totally torn up by the death of the dollar. The value of the American dollar was dying. Then I heard someone playing taps in the background. You remember Daniel Davis? He was a missionary out of Costa Rica, still is. And he came to speak at the Prophecy Club, 15, 20 years ago. And he said he actually had 3 dreams, very powerful. But let me tell you one part of one of them. He said, I saw a man step to the microphone, and he looked like he was in an official position. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. He said, the United States, as you have known it, has ceased to exist. That's right. The Constitution goes away. Our coins, our paper, all goes away. Look, I know. That's hard to believe. But that's what the prophecies say, and not just 1 or 2 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. The United States, as you have known it, has ceased to exist. All property lines are dissolved, and the U.S. dollar is worthless. Could it be that 2 weeks ago when Donald Trump took away our pennies, could it be that that's a sign that we're also about to lose the rest of the coins? We're about to lose the rest of the paper? Could that be a sign that we're about to see the crash of the dollar? 1/3 worthless? I think so. See, I know a lot of people think, oh, well, Trump's in. He's going to fix everything. I'm more scared of the future today than I was under Biden. I knew we were in trouble. But the problem is most people think it's, oh, happy days. Trump's going to fix it. We don't need to worry anymore. We don't need to pray anymore. I think we're in more trouble, not because Trump and his team is bad, but because the Trump and his team are making the bad guys mad. And unfortunately, ever since Adam ate of the fruit, we lost control. Adam lost control. It was given to Lucifer. So he owns and controls this world. Remember in, I believe it's Job, the Lord called a meeting, and the Bible says, and Lucifer also showed up. And God said to him, where you been? He said, been walking to and fro and up and down on the earth. You see, those are ownership words. And then in Revelation it says, after the beast is cast out, it says, now has come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of God and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Well, right now, the accuser of the brethren, that would be Lucifer, the devil, and Satan, is in control of this world, like it or don't. He is. So when Trump and his team has kicked him out, he is madder than perhaps he's been in 6,000 years. And he is about to cause all kinds of problems. As you recall, this past Saturday, November the 9th, the Lord spoke to me 2 words screaming at me loud like a trumpet. Medical, medical. I take that to mean that not only myself, but also those that follow Prophecy Club, in addition to all of the other preparations we've made, we need to start making medical preparations. And I put that out, and I was deluged with emails sending me to this place. This is the place that all of you seem to like when it comes to medical supplies. So I called them, hooked up, and I've arranged to get you a 5% discount when you use the promo code PROPHECY. Promo code PROPHECY, 5% discount, and it's refugemedical.com. refugemedical.com. And as you can see, they have all kinds of, here's one of the main things you need to get. It's called a burn bucket. This tells you all about it. They also have a business bundle, a home bundle. I think everybody ought to have at least a home bundle. They also have vehicle bundles, church bundles. So they already put this stuff together, and this is not foreign-made stuff. This is all American-made, and it's by a Christian company. And you go to refugemedical.com, refugemedical.com. When the suitcase nukes, I didn't say if, I said when the suitcase nukes go off, if you want your car to start, if you want your computers and your refrigerators and things like that, anything with a computer chip to work, you want to have one of these from EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. And they have videos up there. It takes about 10 minutes to put on. It's not complicated at all. And if you use the word prophecy, promo code prophecy, you get a $50 discount, and it helps Prophecy Club.